Hello, I'd like to tell you something about the course NLP for Parents. We'll start on the first day with an introduction about NLP and what you'll get out of the course, and then move swiftly on to look at compelling outcomes, goals, setting goals. Now this is really important because not only do we want to achieve your own compelling outcome for the course, but also it'll introduce you to the idea of setting compelling outcomes for your interactions with your child. What you want to get out of a particular discussion or issue, what you want to achieve, what results you'd like to get. Because it's by looking at the results, by being aware of what you want to achieve, that you will get what you want by focusing on what you want. The second session follows on very swiftly from the compelling outcomes, in so much as if we could actually achieve what we want to achieve, there wouldn't be any problems, would there? The reason that we often don't is because we have beliefs that get in the way. These are what we call limiting beliefs. They're beliefs that maybe have come from childhood, or beliefs that we have about how to be a good mum or dad. And these sometimes prevent us from achieving what we want to achieve. So we'll visit these limiting beliefs in this second session and get rid of those that we don't want. The third session is called Logical Levels of Change. I'm assuming that because you're interested in this course, you're listening to the details about it, that you're interested too in making maybe different choices, maybe making some changes in your life, making changes in how you parent. And the logical levels of change invite us to look at how the different aspects of that change will impact on other areas of our life. So if we want to make a change perhaps in our behaviour or in our child's behaviour, do we need to then look at our child's environment? Do we need to look at our child's skills, our child's beliefs and values? And the same with changes that we want to make ourselves. So we will be using the logical levels of change in this session to look at the changes we want to make in our parenting and the changes we want for our child. You may have heard of VAK through your child's school. A lot of schools are using that nowadays. It stands for visual, auditory and kinesthetic. Visual is where we focus on what we can see and the images that we have. Auditory is more about sounds, what we hear, what we say. And kinesthetic is more about what we do and feel. We all process differently, and in this session we'll be discovering how we process information, how we communicate with others, and thinking about how our child does, and maybe where there may be a miscommunication if perhaps our child is one thing and we're the other, and how we can perhaps communicate better with our child so that we're speaking the same language. We'll be looking at other aspects of that as well in detail, and maybe practicing. There'll be a lot of hands-on practicing and exercises over the course. The first session on day 2 is about reframing and feedback. Let me tell you first about reframing. That's when we look at a particular situation or interaction, an issue, in a different way, as if it has a different frame. Feedback is how we respond to what we're given, to what our child has said or done. And there are ways that we can do that where we get more of what we do want to see and less of what we don't want to see by how we deliver that feedback. Feedback is also about teaching them how to deal with the sort of feedback they get at school, to encourage them to see it as a learning, as a positive thing, rather than as a sense of failure. The next session is about modelling, NLP modelling that is, not fashion modelling. NLP modelling is where we take the excellence in one person and learn from it how they do what they've done. Children are very aware in a classroom of who is a better speller than they are, who is better at maths, who's better at football. and they can learn from their peers, from their friends in school, how they can achieve the same results by basically copying what they do. But it's a bit more than that, because as well as actually doing what they do, they need to find out what the underlying beliefs are. So we'll come back to the beliefs and values that we'll have covered a bit in day one. To beliefs and values that you have about parenting and the sort of models that you want to use for your own parenting style, and the models to introduce to your child so that they can learn how to model excellence in others themselves, and of course excellence in you. The next session is called "The Map is Not the Territory." What this means is that your world is very different from your child's world, and I think sometimes we do tend to forget that. When it's time for supper or time to go shopping or time for school and your child is still totally engrossed in what they're doing, maybe they're making a Lego model or they're doing some drawing, the last thing they want to do is what you've just asked them. It's not that they're wanting to be difficult or disobedient. Their world is very different. And it's by understanding and being able to step into their shoes that we're able to then motivate them to do what we need them to do at the time. So that's the session where we're going to not only put ourselves in our child's shoes, but also be able to use that in different situations ourselves. The last session is all about flexibility. You will have discovered lots of different ways of doing things, different choices, different changes that you can make throughout the 2 days. So in the last session, we'll be looking at how we can make changes, how we can be flexible in order to achieve our compelling outcome. So I invite you to sign up for the course, and I really look forward to meeting you.